Hello students. Today, I will explain and analyze the poem Night of the Scorpion by Nissim Ezekiel. Nissim Ezekiel is a famous Indian poet who wrote poems in English. He is known for writing about everyday life and the experiences of people. In this poem, he writes about a dramatic event that happened in a small Indian village. The event is about a scorpion stinging the poet's mother. The poem describes what happens after the scorpion's sting and how the family and the villagers react to it. Let us talk about the title first. The title, Night of the Scorpion, immediately tells us that the poem is about a specific night when a scorpion became very important. The word night in the title gives a clue that this event happens in darkness. Nighttime can feel mysterious and frightening, and it adds to the suspense of the story. The poem is written in free verse. Free verse means that it does not follow a regular rhyme scheme or rhythm. The lines are written in a natural and conversational way. This style makes the poem feel realistic, as if the poet is telling us a true story. Explanation of the poem. In the beginning of the poem, Night of the Scorpion, the poet Nissim Ezekiel tells us that it was raining heavily. The scorpion came into the house because it was trying to escape the rain. It hid in a dark corner of the house. Scorpions like to hide in dark and quiet places. The poet's mother was stung by the scorpion when she accidentally came near it. The poet says, the scorpion picked on the poison in the dark room. This means that the scorpion used its poisonous sting in the darkness of the room. After the scorpion stung the mother, it quickly went outside. The poet says, parting with its poison, flash of diabolic tail in the dark room. This line is very dramatic. The word diabolic means evil or devil-like. The poet describes the scorpion's tail as diabolic because it caused pain and fear. However, the scorpion itself is not truly evil. It stung out of instinct, not malice. The scorpion leaving the house shows that it is no longer part of the story. Now, the focus shifts to the mother and how the people around her react. Next, the poet describes how the villagers came to help. The villagers brought candles and lanterns because there was no electricity in the village. They searched for the scorpion, but they could not find it. While they were searching, they also prayed for the mother. They believed that the scorpion's sting was a punishment for sins. The villagers thought that if the mother suffered, her sins and the sins of her family would be forgiven. The poet says, "May the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight," they said. This line shows the villagers' belief in karma and reincarnation. Karma is the idea that good or bad actions in the past can affect your future. Reincarnation is the belief that after death, a person is born again in a new life. The villagers believed that the mother's pain would reduce her bad karma and help her in her next life. The villagers also said, "May the poison purify your flesh of desire." Here, the word purify means to make something pure or clean. The villagers thought that the poison would remove all bad thoughts and desires from the mother's body. This shows their traditional beliefs about pain and suffering. Even though the villagers meant well, their prayers and words did not help to reduce the mother's pain. Instead, they seemed more focused on their beliefs than on comforting her. Now, the poet describes how the mother's family tried to help. The poet's father, who is usually a rational and scientific man, tried many remedies to cure the mother. The father used powder, mixtures, and herbs. He even burned the affected part of the mother's skin with fire to try to stop the poison from spreading. This method is based on a traditional belief that heat can neutralize poison. The father's actions show that he was desperate to save his wife. Even though he usually relied on science, he was willing to try anything in this situation. This shows how much he cared for her. The mother continued to suffer. The poet says, her suffering was like the twisted pain of childbirth. The poet helps us imagine how much the mother was hurting. After 20 hours, the pain finally went away on its own. The poison had lost its effect. The mother was able to speak again. Instead of complaining about her pain or blaming anyone, she said something surprising. She said, "Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." This shows the mother's selflessness. Even though she had suffered so much, she was grateful that her children were not harmed. This final line of the poem leaves a strong impression on the reader. It shows the love and sacrifice of a mother. Themes of the poem. Now that we have gone through the poem, let us analyze its themes. A theme is the main idea or message of a poem. Night of the Scorpion has several important themes. The first theme is love and sacrifice. The mother's love for her children is clear in the final lines of the poem. She is willing to endure pain as long as her children are safe. This theme reminds us of the deep bond between parents and children. The second theme is superstition versus rationality. The villagers believe in superstitions, such as karma and purification through pain. They think that the scorpion's sting is connected to moral or spiritual reasons. On the other hand, the poet's father represents rationality. He tries to use practical methods to cure the mother. However, either superstition nor rationality can immediately stop the mother's suffering. This theme shows the tension between traditional beliefs and modern thinking in society. The third theme is human helplessness against nature. The scorpion's sting is a reminder of how small and vulnerable humans are in the face of nature. Despite all the efforts of the villagers and the family, they cannot control the effects of the poison. This theme shows that some situations are beyond human power to solve. Mood of the poem. The mood is the feeling that the poem creates in the reader. At the beginning of the poem, Night of the Scorpion, the mood is tense and fearful because of the scorpion's sting. As the poem continues, the mood becomes serious and reflective. The poet describes the mother's suffering and the different reactions of the people around her. In the end, the mood is one of admiration for the mother's courage and selflessness. Use of language. Finally, let us discuss the poet's use of language. Nissim Ezekiel uses simple and clear language to tell the story. He describes the scorpion and its sting in vivid detail. For example, phrases like diabolic tail and parting with its poison create a strong image in the reader's mind. He also uses repetition to show the villagers' prayers and beliefs. The repetition of the word may emphasizes their superstitions. The poet uses contrasts to highlight different ideas. For example, he contrasts the villagers' superstitions with the father's scientific approach. He also contrasts the mother's pain with her selflessness at the end. Conclusion. In conclusion, Night of the Scorpion is a powerful poem that tells a simple but meaningful story. It captures the drama of a single night and explores themes of love, sacrifice, superstition, and human helplessness. The poet uses vivid language and contrasts to make the story come alive. The final lines of the poem remind us of the strength and love of a mother. I hope this explanation has made everything clear for you. If you have any questions or doubts, make sure to ask them. Thank you for watching.